Okay, well, it's time to roll out that butter crust. It's going to sit in the fridge resting for over an hour. By the way, it's important to do that. It does that. It lets the butter go back to a cold temperature because you were working with it. Tightens it up a little bit. But it also lets the moisture that you put in there, the water, work into the flour just a little bit. I'm rolling out on your basic standard pastry cloth. Got some crumbs on here from another crust I just rolled out. You could do this on a marble slab, but I can't afford a marble slab or have the space to store it. And you can do it on the counter with just flour. But you run the risk of it being hard to peel off. So I'm just going to put it on a pastry cloth because this is what I always do. This is the dish that we put away, just like that size. And when we first start rolling it out, you want to, on a floured cloth, you want to roll it kind of easy because it is stiff and you can crack it. You don't want to crack it because it's hard to seal it back up if you crack it. So we're going to just work our way in and start rolling it out. By the way, the other advantage of using a pastry cloth instead of the counter is that you pause a minute. I'm going to turn off the autofocus so it stops chattering. That focus looks good enough. When you're rolling this out, we all have ways that we lean and things that we roll out certain ways and we get angles on them. And you want to keep going back and forth so you don't get any wedge shape. With a pastry cloth, you just spin it around like that, and any natural biases you have as far as leaning in the dough, they get equalized out for you. You don't have to sit there and say, if I got this side thick, if I got that side thin. It's kind of fun, it's like playing with clay when you were a kid. Because you kind of smush it around. And when you see an edge that's like it's not rounding out enough, you just kind of like roll towards that side. You work it out. Like I said, I like to turn it around once in a while, just so I keep all my thickness across the dough about the same. And how do we know when we're close enough? The next pie goes into this pie plate. And you need to have about, 1.5 inches for the side, and you need some room to crimp, so you need a couple inches all the way around. And it also gives you an idea of how your shape is doing. Whether you got to pull it, one way or the other, so you get good coverage. And so far I have not had to flour the top. I got a little crack there. I'm just going to pinch it shut just to heal it. Because you don't want cracks. You'll get leaks in your crust when you get that. I need to pull it this way a little. You can find fancy plastic sheet that you can roll pie out on, and they've got pre-marked markers. But let me tell you, you're never going to get the pie perfectly centered on those. They look great, but the dough is going to move around as you roll it. So you're going to end up with a circle over here and your dough off to the side, and it's going to just be frustrating. So you just do this. I need to go that way just a little bit more, and this puppy's done. Now, if you can lift the edge up, but the reality, one of the things I like about a pastry cloth is I can just go whoop, right in like that. Isn't that nice? Makes a little mess on the counter. But the pastry cloth supports the dough underneath while you're lifting it, so you don't poke through. and break it. And you got to be gentle pushing it into this pie plate. You can tear it. So you want to lift up from the edge and push it down into the pie plate with your hand. Now I got this, I rolled this out a little big, but this is only a 9-inch pan, so it's not the fact that it's out a little big, the crust is pretty thick. It's going to be a delicious crust though, so it doesn't matter there's a little extra crust. And I'm going to put a crimp edge on this. So what I'm going to do is, I need room to crimp, but this is extra. And I'm just going to go around and give myself an even edge all the way around to crimp. Just kind of measuring with my fingers how far away the glass is. And one of the fun things is, if you set this dough aside, I'm not going to do that in the video, but you put this in another pie plate, you sprinkle it with a little brown sugar and cinnamon, maybe drizzle it with honey, and you put it in the oven right underneath your pie. And because there's no filling in it, it cooks really fast. And you get a little treat you can chew on while your pie cooks, which is awesome with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Alright, that's pretty even all the way around. And then you're just gonna, pick up the edge with your knuckle. I'm right-handed, it's kind of hard to see that, but you're just picking up the edge, from the outside with your knuckle, and you're just pushing it in between two fingers. This is the boring part of the music. I should have some theme music. Maybe some Black Sabbath. That would be appropriate for pie. Woohoo! There we go. A rolled out pie crust in the pot, ready for filling. This is going to be a pecan pie, by the way. It's going to be delicious.